Pawn Stars from 2009 is the widely successful reality show that centers on the daily transactions of the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. And like any pawnbrokers, Rick, the old man, Corey, and Chumley have the hardest of jobs that involve haggling with sellers. Rick Harrison and his family own and run a pawn shop on the Las Vegas Strip. Pawn Stars usually buy, sell, and appraise items of historical significance. Their whole family is in the same business and they own shops in Las Vegas. Pawn Stars is more than a reality show, really. Gold and Silver Pawn Shop is a legitimate business. So on top of the rules that the producers expect the cast to follow, they also have to operate within the limitations of Nevada's laws. So buckle up and get ready, because today we have 5 moments in which pawn shops Rick lowballs these wrong customers. But hey, before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Number 1, Isaac Newton's book. The scientist behind the discovery of gravity, Isaac Newton, is a very important figure in history, and anything that was used or even touched by him was of great importance, and some people think it was priceless. One case happened regarding that on the Pawn Stars too. A seller had a feeling that this was the case, and they brought a pawn shop a book that came directly from Isaac Newton's personal library, according to the seller. While such a lofty claim could be cause for concern regarding authenticity, the shop had a buddy verify the item, valuing it at $20,000. In typical fashion, well, the old man gave the seller an absurdly low price, and the two haggled until they reached a $7,000, and the seller afterwards regretted selling that book of great importance at such a low amount in front of the camera. Number 2, the samurai sword. One seller came to the pawn shop as he knew about the craze over arms and antique items in the show. Swords and weapons are a major fixture in the pawn shop, especially when it comes to the ornate, rare, ancient, and unique articles for sale. Realizing this, a seller had hoped to sell an exquisite samurai sword to the shop for impressive profit. But the so-called Pawn Stars themselves had other plans regarding that antique precious sword. While Rick and Co. are usually fair in the show, this time they were admittedly malicious in the scam. They're pulling on this unassuming seller of a samurai sword. The sword was sold in the pawn shop show for $1,500, but after selling it, the seller must have regretted it, as the value of the sword was much more than that. The Pawn Star scammed the man, and he really had no idea at that moment, as he was maybe enjoying himself in the spotlight on the television. Number 3, the engraved 1890s Colt 45. When your item is one of the most iconic guns in the entirety of the world, there's always going to be some kind of value enveloped it in the right kind of collector. A collector who knows its worth and knows how to get it. And on Pawn Stars, Rick knew about the antique and unique firearm that carries wonders with it. As the seller entered the shop and put forward his item that was this revolver, Ricky knew already this was something that is worth buying. The revolver had a value of around $8,500, as estimated then, but Rick, being Rick, like he never agrees to the actual price told by the customer, he put forward a bid of $3,000, and surprisingly the seller agreed and said he bought it for only $25. But now when the actual worth was found at $42,000, the seller would always regret the moment. Number 4, the Hotchkiss Cannon Catastrophe. A guy brought in a nice Hotchkiss cannon. The pawn shop paid $30,000 for it and asked by the seller, and the owner said he could get $50,000. But even deal is a deal, and Rick agreed to it. Even though it was loaded from the breach, it was legal. But a piece like that was stuck in all the Pawn Stars' hearts. What sealed the deal was the fact that the value actually fired, which dramatically increased its value, leaving the seller regretting what he has done. Number 5, Willie Mays uniform. Willie Mays uniform, when brought in by the seller, at that point only it stole Rick's heart, as it was quite evident that Rick's fandom for sports is very crazy. Whether it's the trophies, rings, medals, signed items, or whatever, Rick had a soft corner for them all. Also, sports items have a very big part of Pawn's business. In this deal, the Pawn Stars were scammed when they bought a Willie Mays uniform, which was never worn by him. Corey lost $31,000 for what he believed was the Stars' game-worn uniform, but later it was confirmed that there was no such thing, and even the seller had no regret over scamming the Pawn Stars. This reality is so much more than just a show, and a great business for the Pawn family, and also a source of collecting the most unique pieces of all. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. We will see you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye!